Hey everyone, welcome back and happy Saturday. Okay, guys, we're back to talk about some Real Housewives of Salt Lake City-ish because, well, there's a lot. And I cannot believe Mary Cosby is suing two of her church staffers. We're going to break it down and figure out exactly why, but also the drama is coming through, especially after the premiere. People really, really enjoyed the premiere, which I think is amazing. The way that they shot it, you guys saw, I did two totally separate recaps on it. One with Ashley from Taste of Reality and one with Monica Garcia from The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Anyways, we're going to jump into all of it. Guys, go ahead, pop off in the comment section. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, and let's jump right in.
We do it like we do it.
All right, guys, we're starting with this. Oh, thank you to Taste of Reality. Mary Cosby filed a lawsuit against the people who operate her church for profit business. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star and her husband are suing two executives of their church's business arm, accusing them of embezzling millions of dollars from the company and the church for years, according to reports from the Salt Lake City Tribune. The lawsuit identifies Robert Cosby as Faith Temple's bishop and president, and Mary Cosby as the church's vice president, first lady. And what the hell is going on? Legal deeds. Mary and Robert Cosby and their Faith Temple Pentecostal Church filed a lawsuit on Wednesday. Their complaint is against the United Security Financial Inc. and two of its officers, Annie L. Johnson and Sean Turner. Damages total nearly $6.3 million. And in the complaint, the Cosbys and Faith Temple accused Johnson, USF's president, and Turner, the company secretary, of intimidating USF employees, and they even forged Robert's signature and used church funds for personal use. Defendant Annie Johnson, accused in the complaint of commingling funds, Annie used a Faith Temple account to fund a USF mortgage on a property her husband sold to his cousin. That mortgage for $173,000 was never repaid to Faith Temple, and the complaint says total payoff with interest amounted to $421,912. Another accusation is that Annie abused USF employees and Faith Temple representatives with intimidation, threats, verbal abuse, racial degradation, and physical abuse. The lawsuit claims at least $350,000 was taken that way, and what the complaint calls a form of money laundering. Now, defendant Sean Turner, Sean owned a USF account that was used for personal gain. The lawsuit says $126,611.10 was paid after the Cosbys believed the loan was paid off. Mary and Robert didn't learn of the second mortgage until last December, and that's according to the complaint. Now, the grossest of gross here, among the crimes rooted in greed, Annie is accused of funneling sacred tithes and offerings from churchgoers to herself. She used the community's church donations to pay her American Express bill and other expenses. How the hell are you going into the church asking people to give into tithing? And you're like, I can go, you know what? I can go shopping today. I want that new Chanel. And then I'm going to go to Starbucks and then I'm going to have a little cocktail. American Express, American Express, American Express. The church will pay for it. Okay, moving on. So, since we're in the spirit of Salt Lake City, thank you to Page 6. Lisa Barlow says, liar Whitney Rose is coming for her on Salt Lake City to stay relevant. She said that she believes her castmate keeps coming for her to remain relevant, pretty much saying, I think she does it to be relevant. I think she thinks no one's paying attention to me. I don't have anything else going on. She also finds Whitney to be the biggest liar. Every single season, she says, we see her to tell, lies, and then at the end, we see the truth. Whitney Rose and Lisa Barlow have historically butted heads on Salt Lake City, with the latter explaining that any ounce of trust evaporated after filming season 2 in 2021. Whitney brought a guy to a party in season 2 and told everyone that I slept with him, and I had no idea that happened until after. And Whitney and I get to a point in season 5 where I'm like, you constantly lie about me. You make me have to tell the truth, and you don't like that. You want people to believe your lies. In Wednesday's premiere, the woman became combative with one another, the women, during a heated discussion that touched on Whitney's assertion in a February interview with Nick Vile on his podcast that Lisa Barlow is the villain. I have not done anything to you besides calling you a villain, which I stand by, is what Whitney told Lisa during a dinner scene. I will be your villain, bitch. Game on, is what she said back. But I'm sure you guys saw that. Now, Lisa Barlow told Virtual Reality that she feels everyone has the right to say their opinions, but thinks Whitney was trying to disintegrate her character. Interesting. She moves the goalpost. Once you resolve an issue, there's a new issue and another new issue. And then you have a rebuttal and a rebuttal for that. And then it's another issue. That's what she said, acknowledging that she has been able to resolve prior spats with Whitney despite their current discord. I hope she heals. That kind of reminds me of like the Southern saying, like, bless your heart. I hope she heals. Uh-huh. Well, speaking of Whitney, I got one more for you. Thank you to Bravo Snarkside.
The season where you have her phone.
I'm just going to explain this to you because I don't know if they're going to get us for copyright on that. So in the trailer, we see where Whitney ends up grabbing Meredith, or Meredith has given her phone to Whitney, and Whitney starts scrolling. Meredith like freaks out and pulls the phone out of her hand. I'm thinking that's because there were text messages that obviously Meredith didn't want Whitney to see, and I'm wondering if I had something to do with that, but you guys will see as time goes on. Last but not least, we're going to take it over here to Byway Hello Drama for some OC drama. Here we go.
Everything when it comes to like a lot of the expenses is on me. And if I didn't have the Housewives job, I really don't know where I would be. So I'm just grateful that I do have that.
But I read that in your divorce settlement, you get over $6,000 a month. Is that correct? Between the child support and the spousal support? Yes.
And unfortunately, he has not been able to make those payments. This is, again, Jeff, it's a tough spot because I wish he and I could communicate. It's a point of contention for Ryan and I, because Ryan's like, why do you not hold his ass to the fire? He's the dad of my kids. So there's like a line of trying to be sympathetic to it. The kids and I do have a home. I do now.
Thanks to Ryan.
Thanks to Ryan. Yep. And
Will needs to figure it out because he's got 5 kids.
Yep. And I agree to that. And so, that's why everything in my divorce is finalized. Unfortunately, my ex is still in a spot. And so everything when it comes to like a lot of the expenses is on me. And if I didn't have the Housewives job, I really don't know where I would be. So I'm just grateful that I do have that.
But I read that
you asked me about the Housewives job. I really, truly don't know where we would be if I didn't have that.
Now, I'd also read that you were entitled to a lump sum of over $500,000. Did you get that money?
So it's $200,000. It was from a portion of the sale of our home. And no, I have not got any of it.
Oh my God. So what's the point of settling all this if he's not honoring his commitment?
And those are decisions I'm going to have to come to something of what's going to happen. We have communicated a little bit. He has said, like, I'm in a spot. I need a little bit of time. Thank God we have Ryan's home. Thank God I have the little income that I have. But, you're right. You get to a point where it's like, okay, well, what is your plan?
Yeah.
But can you, and that's the other thing. It's like, just communicate with.
Communication is key. Guys, I want to hear what your thoughts are. Pop up in the comment section, please. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, and we'll see you next time. Love you guys.